talking about making dough in the restaurant business. My name is Hingam, and my husband and I, we own a couple pizzerias in the San Antonio area. As I'm recording this, you can see our chairs are up, our tables are upside down, and the world is upside down. And we're the last stretch, hopefully, the last few weeks of going through this pandemic. It's almost the end of April as I'm recording this. Today I have the pleasure of answering a question, and maybe you will find it helpful. I'm going to share with you some good tips. Hopefully, again, it'll help you make some dough. So let's get to it. So this is an email that I got. It says, I and my partner own 2 locations of Joe and Pie Cafe pizzerias in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and you guys are currently using a company for text message marketing, and you're asking me that you're finding it simply a little bit costly, and what are my suggestions about that, and I'm happy to share some tips on that. Another thing that you guys are doing is contacting all the hospitals and donating them your pizzas for future relationships, and y'all as well set up donations on your website to again, involve, I guess, your customers in donating food so you guys can take them to these hospitals and things like that. I've seen that a lot of restaurants do that, and I'm going to kind of give you my perspective on that, and you can discern and decide. So you're asking me, what are some of the things that you guys can do to grow your sales? So as I'm recording this, and as we go through this pandemic, week by week, day by day, we can't really predict whatever we were doing in the past in terms of projecting sales one week to the next or 1 month to the next, kind of is one out the window. However, I wanted to tell you humbly that last week we had record sales that we've never had actually. And I tell you that humbly because, again, there are a lot of factors involved, and I'm going to share with you some simple tips and things that we are doing in sustaining our sales, again, in hopes and helping you make some dough. Before that, if this is your first time, be sure to find us on YouTube and subscribe to the show, or on our podcast, you can subscribe. And if you have any questions you would like me to talk and share thoughts and what have you on the show, be sure to send me an email to team@makingdoughshow.com, or just go to our website, makingdoughshow.com. Scroll all the way down. There's a section to submit your question. I'd be delighted to answer it. So let's get to it. First, you're telling me that using text message marketing and you find it to be a little bit expensive. Fantastic. So I don't know if you know that, but we as well have an agency. We serve restaurants with text message marketing. And I'm going to tell you a few things. One, I've shared that before on the show, is that there are 2 parts to this. One is like when you use a tool versus a strategy, right? A tool is text message marketing, Facebook ads, or email marketing, or whatever it is, the tool that we are using. Then it is the strategy that we use that tool. It's going to determine if that tool is effective, it's cost effective per se, or the return on the investment on the tool. So for instance, if I am using a knife from a Michelin star, that doesn't reward our restaurant Michelin stars just because I use their tools. It's how they use their tools is determined for them to get Michelin stars. Their recipes and obviously their experience and many different factors. But I wanted to say a lot of times it's not the tool itself, so we need to do a little bit of a digging and looking into your strategy. And if you would like me to give you guys a quote about for your restaurant, if you want to try the service for free, I'd be happy to help you with that anytime. Again, send me an email and no strings attached. So let's talk about it. There are 3 things to consider if you find text message marketing to be expensive. The 3 things I'd like to go over. One is the health of your list. The other thing is the offer you guys are making. The other thing is the timing. These are 3 factors that are going to make the tool that is text message marketing to be effective and successful or not. So let's talk about the list first. So the question I have for you, how healthy is your list, right? Is it the list of your customers in the last 3 years? Because there may be people who have moved, people who have, right? Because if you're paying per text, an average industry average is about 3 cents is out there. If you are paying per text, then you need to make sure that that list is healthy. And we're going to do that in multiple ways. One suggestion I have for you is to get your loyal, like if you have a loyalty program, a loyalty database or something like that, you can go download that because people have given you kind of permission to market to them because you're giving them points or you're giving them discount. We have our loyalty program through our POS system, so I'm curious, what do you guys use for that? And also, if you're using that, look into who is opted in or who's joined in the last like 3 months or in the last 6 months. The second thing to clean up your list is at the end of every text, though whenever you use a text messaging platform, all of them, many of them, the way it is that if a customer replies the word stop, they will automatically opt out of the list. But a lot of people don't know that. So if you simply add reply stop, the word stop capital, reply stop to unsubscribe at the end of every text message that you send out, if a customer doesn't want to receive your text anymore because they've moved or they're not interested or for whatever reason, you want them off of your list because you are paying per text message, and it's better to send it to 100 people than 1,000 people if out of those 100, 20 of them are going to come in. Does that make sense? It's about being more effective. It's not about quantity, but rather the quality of your list. So these were 2 quick tips for you to clean up your list. That works also if you do email marketing or something like that. Clean up your list. If people are not opening your emails or whatever, there are many ways in different platforms, MailChimp, all of them, that you can clean up your list, looking to those who have not opened your emails in the last 6 weeks, and you can remove them from your list. It's better to market to those who want to hear from you. That's effective way of approaching this. Okay, so that was the list. Then is the offer. With text message marketing, you need to define your objective, and particularly during the pandemic, my objective is to sustain our sales. I don't want to get our sales to go down, and if it goes up more than whatever, fantastic. If not, I'm happy. I'd like for us to be able to sustain our sales so we can provide hours to our people, so we don't need to let anybody go and things like that. So let's talk about the offer in particular. When it comes to, particularly at this time, a lot of people are making offers, a lot of restaurants, a lot of full service restaurants right now. So you need to remember that. So people are looking for offers and looking for deals. So you need to give them an offer they can't refuse. At least every few weeks, you need to give them something that's really good. So this is what we do, and I call that like a defibrillator offer, that it just kind of gives me a boost in sales. So for example, for us, we serve 16-inch pizzas. So it's like a 16-inch one-topping pizzas for $12. And I wanted to show you, we had that this last weekend, our deal that we texted out to our list. And we had 133 redemptions on that. So that's, of the deal, people who used the deal. And I only marketed to our list. So define your objective. At this time, you're not trying to get rich, right? You want to sustain your sales and consider your food costs and what works, what doesn't work. You need to have an upselling strategy that when people come in wanting to get that deal, sell them 2 liters, sell them desserts, you know what I mean? So you want to complement that. So again, are you making offers that they can't refuse? Because the offer itself can also make it or break it. So be mindful of that. The third thing is the timing. A lot of times in the restaurant business, we know that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever, those are our slow times. And I learned this from Papa John's. Papa John's sends their text message religiously every week at around 3:30 to 4 p.m. on Fridays. And the reason they're doing that is because people are already going to go out for the weekend. That's their mindset, going out. And that is the time for them to see your offer when they're hungry. And that's the beauty of text message marketing, because you are able to have that immediate reach. When somebody receives a text, within 5 minutes, they usually, you know yourself and your habit, right? The minute your phone dings, you check it, right? So when is the timing? Are you sending them all hours? I like to send them always on Fridays at 4 p.m. because we're developing a habit for our customers. So those are some of the tips I have for you in terms of that, the texting. Then you're going to talk about the donations on the hospital. And I see a lot of restaurants doing that, a lot of pizzerias particularly doing that. We are not doing that at this time, because here is why. This is the controversial thing. The food costs, I'm trying to keep it as low as possible, right? This is not the time for us, right? We want to keep labor in a healthy range. We want to keep food costs at a healthy range. We ourselves, so the question I have for you, what was your donation strategy before the pandemic? So for us, we have done 2 to 3 school fundraisers every month for the last minimum 12 months. We have done donating food or taking food out to businesses about we have a team member in charge of that does that. 120 businesses every month we visit with a free pizza or a free gift card for whatever thing it is. And we've done that for over a year now. So we've sown a lot of seeds during the good days. At this time, we're not making any food donations because we've done it for a long time. So what was your strategy before is the question I have for you to see what's going to be your strategy. If you've never done that before, maybe it's a good idea to do it. And a lot of times, hopefully, you're taking pictures and sharing them on social to build goodwill with your community. Hopefully you're already doing that. Another tip I have for you is if you are going to be doing any donations or partnerships, think about who can you make look good. Okay, what do I mean by that? For example, we've had a realtor approach us because realtors are looking for business, for example, right? They approached us and they said, oh, we want to donate some, we want to buy some pizzas from you guys and take them to the local fire station or to the local police station and things like that. And they were looking for a deal or a partnership. We would have done it ourselves, right? So the realtor is saying that, hey, I'd be happy to pay for it. What kind of a deal can you give me? And we're like, you know what, let's go in 50-50. So if you pay 50% of the bill, we provide you the pizzas, you take it and you take a picture, and kind of give us a shout out, and we kind of a partnership like that. So long-term relationship with a realtor is always a positive thing because they, you're familiar with like a lot of new movers programs because always when there is somebody who buys a new home or something like that, realtors know about it. Obviously, they're part of that. And if you have gift cards that you give realtors, they can give them to these new people who've moved into the area. They have not chosen their favorite pizza place, their favorite Mexican place, and that's a great time to market to them. So you can pay, I don't know, $400 a month for a new movers program, like Welcome Wagon and stuff. We've done that, no longer. Or you can have these relationships with realtors. So we like realtors. We're good friends with realtors. Hopefully you guys are too. So for example, for this case, we give them a 50% off. So at least that's covering a lot of the food cost. And we don't need to pay for labor to send a team member out there to go do those things. We still get a shout out. We share it on our social media. So that's kind of a win-win. We're trying to make them look good. Does that make sense? So hopefully that's maybe you want to proactively approach realtors to see if they're interested in a partnership like that with you as well. At least you're recovering your food costs at that time. I don't know if it makes sense. Hope it makes sense. So now I'm going to share with you 3 things that we are doing that I had to think about, what is it that is working for us? What is it that people are appreciating that is kind of our secret sauce during this time that has helped us sustain our sales and even have a record sales last week, as I mentioned it to you. Simple, not complicated. We're not a nuclear plant. This is a restaurant. You know what I mean? So let's keep it simple. Let's get this done. So first is gratitude. I've shared a lot of videos in the last few weeks on the channel during the pandemic, all of that. We have got to crank up the gratitude department. You need to be sending thank you cards to your customers. Here's why. The ones that have purchased from you this last week, you want them to come back again, right? There are those who are not going out at all, or they've chosen not to do business with you in the last 2 to 3 or 4 weeks, right? Okay, fine, there may be a lost cause, but there have been people who come and done business with you in the last 2 weeks, and we want them to know that we're very grateful for their business. Verbally we can tell them, or also for them to receive a handwritten card. So this is what we've been trying to do, and you can ask your servers to do that at the end of the card to write down, hey, this is Julia, a psychology major at our local UTSA, which is our university, or I'm a, so-and-so, a senior at Steele High School. So people connect with people in your business. So showing gratitude has helped us a lot. So send thank you cards to those who've done business with you in the last 2 to 3 weeks. You have their address if you've done deliveries with them. So the other thing is innovating. One of the things that I think it took me a while to realize why whenever we did, like for example, we've done pizza kits and stuff for our business, for our restaurants, and why it was so well received. One thing is the pizza kit. The other thing is what the pizza kits represent, and that is an underdog, a small business who's hustling, who's trying to come up with new solutions. People appreciate that versus those who are quitters, those who close their restaurant and they're not out there doing anything, right? You pass by restaurants, there are 2 cars, it seems like they are dead, and it seems like they have already quit on this whole thing. people don't want to support quitters. People want to support those who are hustling. So whenever you innovate and do something new, for example, pizza kits, which is something we've done this month, we've sold over 700 pizza kits. And as I'm recording, I know what is today, it's April 22nd. In the month of April, we've sold over 700 pizza kits. And I actually am going to link down below, because I've gotten a lot of questions about that, and how to craft a meal kit and how to promote it successfully. Always whatever you come up with is 20%, 80% is marketing, but you already know that. So how to craft a successful meal kit kind of promotion for your restaurant. I'm going to have the link down below for you. But yeah, that's the thing. So how can you innovate? How that is also building your brand. So on the one hand, the third thing is so innovating in a way like pizza kits or coming up with a family meal deal or things like that. And people are like, you are hustling. You're trying to do your best to come up with new solutions to your customers. The third tip, and what has worked for us, has been making them an offer that they can't refuse, as I mentioned, and that marketing to our existing customers, which is with text message marketing or direct way of, whether it's if you guys do email marketing, for example, right? Directly marketing to your customers in a direct method, right? So that's more effective because they were already knew you, they hopefully liked you, and they trusted you. They opted into your list of your text message list. So those are the three things: gratitude, innovating, as well as making an offer that they can't refuse, marketing to our existing customers. So those are a few tips I have for you. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. And again, if you want to do a meal kit, I have a link down below for you. I'd love to hear what it is that you are doing. How have you pivoted during this whole pandemic, and what is working right now? Would love to share it with the community. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to or LinkedIn or wherever. I'd love to hear your thoughts. So please comment down below and let us know what is working. And with that, if you have any questions you would like me to answer on the show, be sure to email us at team@makingdoughshow.com. You can go to our website as well. We have a lot of free resources, one being the 52 ways to market your restaurant. That's a free PDF for you. I'm going to say it's like 30 pages, 52 different ways you can market your restaurant. Be sure to look into that. Don't stop. I hope that you're not quitting on this whole thing. Yes, I know the plane is hopefully coming for landing of this disastrous thing. Maybe in the next few weeks we can open up our restaurants and our dine-in. But hustle, show your hustle to your customers, and hopefully the community will back you up and support you guys. With that, thank you so much for checking in and watching this episode of Making Dough Show, and I appreciate it very much. And with that, let's get back to work and make some dough. Thank you. Bye-bye.